Megha Parekh, who is the senior vice president and chief legal officer at AEW. She was on this show, A to the K Wrestling Show, and she was talking about going to London for All In, and then casually mentioned that after the show, they'll be coming back here for All Out the week after. So this would seem to be, we had seen some performers mentioning the fact that All Out would be taking place the next week. This is somebody in a pretty significant capacity in AEW stating this, maybe by mistake, maybe not, but it would seem to be like this is the strongest evidence that we will be getting major shows on back-to-back weeks, location to be determined for All Out. But what are your thoughts, Wei, on just this huge show for Wembley Stadium and the likelihood of coming back and running what would be a pay-per-view the next week?
Well, I think the biggest question is how will both of these events be distributed to the audience? Traditionally, of course,
I can't imagine that these would be two pay-per-views. I mean, the streaming option would seem like you're more likelihood for All In, but that remains to be seen. I would think it'd be just insane to do pay-per-views back-to-back weeks.
Sure. Yeah. But I think that poses maybe the more interesting topic of discussion. If AEW has some sort of streaming deal, they have, billed this as a celebration of Warner's anniversary itself. So could All In be a part of a bigger streaming package now on Max or something else? Because I also don't think AEW would be bold enough to try to charge 2 weeks in a row for these shows. So maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But
does it become tricky that, unless you're doing a 1 week build, which I would not suggest, like promoting two cards at once that you sort of need to? I mean, does that get tricky to direct people to these two shows? Like, can you do it in a seamless fashion throughout the summer?
I think you can. I don't think this is all that different from promoting a 2-night WrestleMania or a multi-night Wrestle Kingdom. And I think one might actually really help the other, especially if one is on a big streaming platform and the other's on a pay-per-view. You can have a lot of big undercard matches set up to build up to your big match on the pay-per-view at All Out. I think it presents an opportunity if you do have a CM Punk to maybe do a multi-man trios match with the CM Punk and then having a singles match on an All Out main event. As long as you have your strong main events for both nights, especially catering towards either a UK crowd or a Chicago crowd, I don't think it'd be that difficult.
Okay. Could you see these shows being Punk having being booked for both these shows, and then he goes to watch SummerSlam?
How far is that flight?
It's Detroit. I mean, that's a stone's throw from Chicago.
It depends how many amends he wants to make. How much he wants to catch up with his pals. I mean, it's convenient, wouldn't it?
He went to a Raw show. There's amends to be making on the SmackDown side, I'm sure.
You're right. Depends who he sees on his flight back, I suppose.
Okay, so that remains to be seen.